Hey Flosstube, I'm Kathleen and this is StitchuationNormal episode 18. Welcome back and welcome for the first time to my cross-stitch chat. I was gonna say channel and then I said chat and I don't know, it just came out as channel. Anyhow, I talk about all things cross-stitch, all things not cross-stitch, because sometimes things remind me of other things and I get off on little tangents, but I find my way, as you know if you've watched before. I have some whips to show you, I have some haul to show you, I have some new starts, I have Save the Stitches segment, and I'm gonna go through comments and do just a little mini life update. I don't have a whole lot to update because we are in lockdown here. So before I get into all of that, I just quickly want to say something I've never said here before, which is this channel, and my Instagram, and my everything is a safe space. What the heck does that mean? It means that all are welcome here. Why the heck do you have to say that on Flosstube? I have to say it because it isn't obvious. It isn't obvious and it isn't safe to assume that all places are safe spaces. So, you guys are amazing. You viewers and commenters, you guys are amazing. But I have been on Facebook in my cross-stitch groups and I've seen ugly things. I've seen really horrible things. I've seen a lot of hate in this Facebook cross-stitch groups, okay? So that's kind of where I realized, no, we need to say if our channel is a safe space, if our Instagram is a safe space, because it is not assumed. And before you say this is a side thing, there's no sides on this. This isn't political, this isn't sides. This is just, you know, some people are intolerant to others, and it's not okay. So as I learn more and more about safe spaces, which I thought I knew, I thought I didn't need to say this is a safe space, I need to say it. It is very important. If you don't know much about safe spaces, please read about them and read about the importance, because you may not ever be concerned about being in a position where you are worried that you're not in a safe space, but there are many people that do have that legitimate concern. And so I am saying again, this channel has and always will be a safe space for all. There is no room for intolerance. Even though I've said this is a safe space for all, that does not include people who are intolerant to others. And it sounds kind of paradoxical, and it is paradoxical, but that is the only way to truly be tolerant of all, is to be intolerant of those who are intolerant to others. So look it up, look up the paradox if you want, because it's confusing just saying it. But again, this is a safe space and it is important to say it. So let's get into it, guys. My life update. So my boys were supposed to go back to school last week. Didn't happen. That means we're doing online school, which means I am getting nothing done here at home. And I'm spending a lot of time, like every waking second, with my kids, which I love, and I also would love a little space, but that's the way it is. We're managing. We are so grateful for all we have, and so I will not complain about it, but I did kind of complain about it. That's okay too. I did an interview with, you know, our favorite Flosstube interviewer. I shouldn't say that because I don't know if there's others. I'm still very new, so sorry if you're also a Flosstube interviewer, but I did an interview with Sambry Stitches, our very own Becca, on Flosstube, and it should be airing next week, next Sunday, I believe, the 25th. So we had a lot of fun. I'm nervous, I don't know, I said wild things. My kids came in and interrupted, and you know, it was real, you could say that. But we did have fun. What's the teaser I could give you? Oh, we talked about our Gilmore Girl crushes. They might surprise you, they might not. But yeah, it was really, really fun. So I'll post a link to that. Maybe I think I can share it on YouTube. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'll figure it out. Definitely on my Instagram, I will share it, and yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm also like really struggling to make healthy choices. I'm staying up really late watching Netflix and stuff because it's the only time I get to not be talked to or touched or hear screaming or fighting or regular kids noises. So I'm staying up late and I'm watching Netflix. I watched if you're into docs, like documentaries, or if you're into doctors, just kidding, this is just documentary docs. I watched The Dawn Wall, which is about rock climbing, which does not interest me at all, but this documentary was amazing. And maybe some of you have watched it. It came out in 2017. If you hear yelling, that's my kids. They're in the basement playing nicely, but Anyways, the dawn wall. I felt queasy at the heights sometimes, but it was such a fascinating story. It's mostly him, like the main rock climber, Tommy something. I can't remember, shoot. Well, I'm not good at remembering names, guys. I'm just not. But I know the faces on shows. But in real life, I'm good at names, but not at faces. Anyways, boring. You gotta watch that documentary, though. It is so beautiful. It's a great doc, I think. It's not my favorite documentary I ever saw. I'll give out recos right now. That's recommendations. I don't know why I'm talking in short form so much. The best doc I ever saw was The Biggest Little Farm, and that's also on Netflix. I'll link it in the description in case you guys are looking for one. But I also watched Bridgerton and like Night Stalker. I don't know. I've been watching a lot. And then I'm up till 3 and then I'm trying to do school in the morning and oh, it's a lot. I took my youngest to the dentist and he has 8 cavities. That was his first dentist trip. My oldest has never had a cavity. I had my first cavity last year, but he has soft teeth, like my husband. So that's my life update, okay? There's nothing else. That's it. I'm telling you about the dentist. That's our life right now in lockdown, so. And when I say lockdown, like we can't go anywhere except for groceries and like walks, or obviously if there's an emergency of some sort. Like it's more than a gray. I don't even know now. There's so many colors and I don't know what they all mean. So let's get into the cross stitch. I have a few comments from last week, just a couple. So I want to shout out my CSIs, my cross stitch investigators, because if you remember last week, I was working on Little Women and I'll show the photos of them. I didn't know why this was charted this way. It was in a square, there was a line through it, and there were 2 symbols in the same square, which you would think is quarter stitch because of the line through it. But the symbols were the same symbols. So I wondered, why do they want a quarter stitch of the same color? And I couldn't figure it out and it was bothering me and I didn't know what to do. So I am shouting out Rosie Farch, Barbara Henderson, Dawn Sabo, and Christina France for telling me why. You guys are gonna love this. So they do that, maybe you already knew. They put 2 of the same symbols in the same square because the line is the back stitch line. Okay, well, I kind of thought that line was a back stitch line, but I thought they still wanted us to do 2 quarter stitches. Well, the back stitch line was going to be covering the symbol. You wouldn't be able to read what the symbol is. So if you see 2 of the same symbol in a square and there's a line through and it's a back stitch line, that is not a quarter stitch, you do a full stitch. So that is our unsolved mystery solved for this week. Also, Jessica Smirsiak. I'm so bad at names. Why do I always say the last name? I just need to say the first name from here on out. She recommended Peacock and Fig's video on fractional stitches, which I am going to check out because I need to learn a little bit more about fractional stitches. So if it is a good watch, I will link it next episode and I'll give a little chit chat about it because I'm sure we could all benefit from learning about fractional stitches. And then my last comment is from my stitch friend, Amanda Hoying. Sorry, I keep touching my nose. I never touch my nose. And then the second I start filming, I'm like, Amanda Hoying, my stitchy friend, she left a message because last week I was talking about Krynick and I kept saying Krynick and I couldn't remember how to say it. And she's like, I will teach you how to remember it. It's Krynick because when you use it, it makes you want to cry. So if you want to know how to say it, just think about how many tears you'll have when you use it because it's quite finicky. But yes, Krynick. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the tips. You guys are amazing. Let's move on to Save the Stitches. Okay, there's a story. This is a story one. Okay, so here's my Save the Stitches. This was stitched by a woman named Dale, I believe, and she gave it to my mom, and my mom gave it to me. It's really beautiful stitching. It is, I think 14 count Aida, but she used 3 strands, and it's very full coverage. Her back is beautiful. This is not what my backs look like, but like, how beautiful is that? So how I came into possession of this piece, like I said, my mom gave it to me, and Dale gave it to her, but who the heck is Dale, right? Dale was the best friend of a woman named Pat. And who the heck is Pat? Pat is a woman that we drove to church every Sunday from the time I was 6 until I wasn't going to church anymore, which was in my 20s, but she became a part of our family. She had maybe 2 or 3 relatives, but she wasn't mobile, so she couldn't even really walk very far, so she never really got to see family much. So we really did become her family, and she was at all of our holiday dinners and after church hangout, and she was everywhere. And she was someone that she was a character, we'll say that. She loved Elvis Presley, she loved NASCAR. Her walls in her apartment were covered in pictures of NASCAR and Elvis and family. She did a lot of genealogy, family heritage? No, what do you say? Family history. And she wore a lot of jewelry, really funky nail polish colors. She was really sassy. Like when my sister and I were younger, she would always be like, "You girls are so rude to your mother." We were like, in our heads, we're like, what do you know? But as an adult, I'm like, yeah, we were. And she would tell us when we were, and she'd be like, you need to help your mother more. And we did need to, and we didn't help her, but we needed to. And she was like that. She was that kind of person, and she really did become part of our family. And she ended up passing away in 2012. And when she passed away, my mom was responsible for cleaning out her apartment. So when my mom was nearly done, Dale approached my mom and said, I want you to have this. And it was this cross stitch that she had done. So she's frayed her edges here. So what do I do with this? How do I finish this? Do I like put something on the top to hang it, or let me know what you think. I mean, I think, is there enough room to make it a pillow? What could we do here? Because I don't think I would ever stitch this piece myself, but it really is so beautiful, and it makes me think of friendship, right? Because Dale and Pat had their friendship. They were probably best friends, the two of them, in the apartment. And then I think of Dale giving it to my mom, knowing the friendship she had, and it's 2 little people, and let's say they're sending mail to their pen pal, like that's the friendship, right? So, you know, funny little tidbit about Pat. She would hate that I'm talking about her. Also, she taught me a lot of, she inspired me to bake, I should say. She was a professional cake decorator and cake baker, and she would share recipes with me when I was very young, but I did love to bake, and I still have a cookbook from her that she got me I was probably 18, and she said, I hope you use this when you become a mother and a wife, and I do. I use it now, and it's so funny because when I read that, I was like, that'll be a long ways away, but it wasn't that long away, and I do use that, and I think of Pat. So when Pat passed away, she didn't want a funeral. I think today is either her birthday or it's tomorrow, which is why I think that's a very fitting piece to show. But she didn't want a funeral, and so we were like, okay, but then we still sneakily had a little service for her at the mausoleum during her inurnment. Is that what you call it? An inurnment, when you put the urn in? And it was actually so beautiful. It may have also been today, but back in 2012, because it took a month or so before we did it. So anyways, there was maybe 8 of us there, and it was like a really intimate service of sorts, but it was beautiful, and it was snowing and it was cold, but we just giggled about Pat's stuff and smiled and laughed, and it was beautiful. And honestly, I went to a COVID funeral as well this year, actually, sorry, 2020, and my husband was a pallbearer, and it was very intimate, also outdoor. It was in November, but it snowed. It was the first day it snowed, and so it was very, very cold, but it was beautiful as well. There's something beautiful about being outside in all sorts of weather, not just the sun. But anyways, that's my Save the Stitches. That was a long chit chat about Save the Stitches, but that's okay. We know me. So fast forward that story if you didn't like it. I guess if you didn't like it, you've already listened to it. All right. I have some fun stuff. I have a new start. It's a first times 2. So it's my first sampler. I finally started my first sampler, Soweth sampler by Birds of a Feather. And it's my first time stitching on linen. It says, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And I just love it. So you are not gonna believe this linen. Okay, first of all, yes, like I said, first time stitching on linen. This is what we got. My only complaint, I am stitching, okay, so I don't know what kind, I forgot to measure this linen. It was just like, I bought this several years ago. Oh, you're not gonna like it. I didn't know it was before I stitched, and I was using it as like, I would lay it on the ground when I would take photos of wedding details. Like I'd put it in grass or over top of mud and like, oh man. And then this year, 2020 is when I started stitching. And in the summer, I went to go shoot a wedding and I pulled this out to lay, and I was like, that's linen, like stitchable linen. And I've been dragging it around on the ground and mistreating it. So it's quite a bit that I have. But anyways, that's where this came from, was I bought it as, I'll show a photo so you can see kind of what I mean by how I used it. And then you can see, so my complaint is not about the linen. I am actually loving this. I'm loving stitching on linen. My complaint is that I'm using the DMC. It does not match the fancy floss at all. And I just don't care much for fancy floss yet. Like it doesn't do much for me. I like DMC fine. It doesn't look much different to me. I know it does, but it doesn't matter that much to me. So I was like, I have these DMCs, I'm gonna use them. They don't match. Like, that wasn't done very well. Like, they didn't take the care. I don't know. Now I'm being critical. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I like these colors. I like how they're looking on here. But if you were to stitch this piece, just know if you're doing DMC, it does not quite match. So I'm very excited to work on it. I'm loving stitching on linen. I'm excited to have finally started a sampler, and 2 firsts. 2021, 2 firsts already. Next, I did some work on Little Women by Michael Jolly. It doesn't feel like I did much, like it doesn't look like I did much, but which way's up? There we go. So I have a little bit of, okay, let's see if I can show you. So this is what I'm working on here. So this part here, this is like this is Amy's painting, and then this is Meg, and this is Beth. So I've done Beth's, a lot of Beth's, and then just a little bit of that. So I'm excited. It's really fun. It doesn't seem like I get a lot done on it, but that's because there's a lot of color changes. There's this is all, like I'm missing a few stitches, but this is full coverage. So this is the middle piece. There's 9 pages, and this is page 5, which is like the full coverage page. But then the other ones aren't as full coverage, but, well, they are, but there's not a full page of full coverage. So I'm excited that we're using the hashtag Little Women Sal. If you have it and you want to start stitching it, there's a whole bunch of us doing it. It's really fun. We just use the hashtag on Instagram, and then you can kind of see how everyone's doing with it. So. And then I've done a little bit of work on this piece, which is for my husband. It's Pixel People Goonies by Wee Little Stitches. And I added in Steph. I finished Chunk, I added in Steph, except for her eyes. She looks a little spooky right now. And then this is gonna be Sloth, and then I have a few more people to add in. This is the Ada that I dyed myself, and I'm using the called for DMC. Like, Chunk's pants were something else. I don't know if I already complained about this. I don't mean to be complaining. I'm just letting everyone know. This is what I want you to know. There's like so much backstitching to get these plaid-ish pants, and the color changes in the shirt. So here we go. Yes, this is the Ada I tea-dyed myself. I think I said that already, but look at me just bragging about myself. I'm proud of myself. I did it. It was hard just to do it, so I don't know. Okay, so those are my whips. As we know, next week, so today is January 18th. So next Monday is January 25th, which is the start of Caterpillar's cross stitches sal that I'm doing, that I'm very, very excited about. It's the Made to Create one, which looks like this blur. So it actually doesn't look like this. This is the mystery part. We don't know what it's gonna look like. So if you want to order that and stitch it along, like these are the colors here. Hang on. There. Oh, I thought it would like look more fuller. I would love to have different colored hair. It just wouldn't work for me though, but Caterpillar cross stitch, and Oh no, where did I put the needle minder? I had the needle minder out because I was really excited about it and then I lost it. Oh boy, that is so me. But here's my fabric. It's beautiful. I'll lay the boop. Yeah, if you're a maker, you're gonna want to do this. Oh, and if you do want to do it, I have a code you can use, which I've already shared in previous episodes, but it's the same code if you want to do the Made to Create sale. And the code is normal10, and that'll give you 10% off. So they ship everywhere, but if you want, you can just kit it up yourself and use the PDF. And there's a Facebook group, there's Instagram. I'm gonna put all the links to everything. I already mentioned it last week, but I'm just getting really excited and it does start next week. So I'll do an Instagram post about it probably tomorrow too, in case you just want to go there to find out about it. So, Made to Create. If you want to hear an not emotional, but yeah, it's kind of an emotional story about why I like this, you can watch last episode. Okay, now I have some, what do I have? Haul. I have a little bit of haul. Okay, so as we know, our girl, Liz Mathews, she celebrated her 1 year in business, which is amazing because I just thought she's always been around because I'm new, but she's not always been around. It's been her first year, and that is a milestone. Just like a baby, that is a milestone when that baby turns 1. You kept that baby alive, and Liz kept that business baby alive, and she pumped out some really beautiful designs. So to celebrate, she did a 30% off of her Etsy shop, and I bought some stuff. So the first thing I bought is Quaker pumpkins. I didn't print it off yet, but I am probably going to start one or all of these soon. Quaker pumpkins, that was one of her first ones that I really fell in love with. I also have never stitched a Quaker. So I bought that one, and then I also bought Quaker snowflakes, because why not? Or as our girls, I keep saying our. We're just a family, Flosstube. We're just a family. As our 2 girls, Crustic MD Shiloh and Megan, Georgia Girl Stitching, say, cuz Quaker. So I bought both of them because Quakers, because I want to do Quakers. So, and then my last one is Auld Lang Syne, and I love this one. And I'm gonna love having it up. I like the message of it. I love the Scottish roots. I love everything. So, and then the last thing, I've got everything stacked up here weirdly. Sorry, guys. What the heck am I doing? The last thing is something that I've moved to a weird place. Here it is. I found it. Does anyone else sing random things? My Strawberry Fields Forever came. Blackbird Designs. If you guys watch Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, she doesn't like how this gray is in here, and I actually don't really either. It was the only thing that kind of bothered me about it, so I might go lighter. I might just do a lighter one and just find my own way. And that was ordered from Gitta's. My husband ordered that for Christmas, but it was a back order, so it came later, but it came right when she said it would come. And she sent like her little Christmas, I'm gonna just flashing it like that, but every year, and if you go on her website, there's freebies of these little Christmas ornaments, so check them out. I love supporting local. That's Gitta's in Missisauga here in Southern Ontario. So really, if a business is Canadian, I consider it local because there's just not that many Canadian shops. So I'll link them in the description box. Okay, Stitch Kindness. This is an exciting one that you guys, I think, are gonna feel relieved because it's also an Unsolved Mysteries. This is 2 unsolved mysteries we've solved in this episode. Okay, so if you remember my Save the Stitches from forever ago, there was this. I got it in a stash from Shelly from Welland, and I just didn't know what it was, like where it came from, because the chart wasn't with it. And I had a rough idea because someone in a Facebook group had posted they finished theirs. So I knew what magazine, but I didn't know what issue, and I didn't know much else. You guys were amazing. Several of you offered to send it to me. Jill was the first one, and thanks Jill, she sent me the back stitch so I can finish it and really save it. That's a real Save the Stitches if I do back, which I hope to do the back stitching because it's so close to done. It's just, look at his face. It's a little scary, but if we get the back stitch in, it won't be as scary. So she sent it to me. Thank you, Jill. She also sent me this beautiful Christmas card, and inside were these stickers. It says, choose kindness. Yep, that's what it says. And follow your heart. And something I already had this idea, but maybe it was because I saw it on Instagram, because remember last week I got a couple stickers and I was like, I don't know where to put my stickers. I'm gonna put them on my floss boxes, which brings me to my last segment, floss. So, okay, so these are my floss boxes. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna like stick them on here and like just collect stickers on here because I love stickers. So first of all, thanks Jill. Second of all, floss. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, you know I was sorting through my floss boxes. I have a lot of floss. It is old floss. It's DMC. That doesn't mean it's old. I'm just letting you know it's DMC. So I've picked up a lot of old lady stash that they don't stitch anymore. So some of it came in floss away bags. You may be familiar with floss away bags. Uh-oh. Oh, I just dropped a whole bunch. Oh well. And they were in these cases in floss away bags. So I've since organized them. They did not look like this. But this is not my preferred method of storing them. This is where it's gonna get controversial this episode, is the storing method. Do you floss away bag them? Do you take them off the skein? Do you keep them on the skein? Do you bobbinate? A la this case. Oh, this case. Okay, and then if you do the cases, this is where it also gets controversial. Do you do it by color or by number? See, I'm a number girl. I like them in the order so I know what I have. And I also like them bobbinated because it's like tucked away. I feel like it's just too much when they're on like a string, and like the floss away bags, they get too stuffed and then they don't all fit. So I went through all the floss away bags. I went through all the because I had like random, there was like Ziploc bags with like floss in other bags, in other bags, in other bags from these stashes. So I was like, I need to get this under control. So I will call this phase 1 of organization. So I have 3 of these cases, maybe 4. And that's my first set of DMC, and it's not a full set because I think a full set would be about 5 or 6 of these, maybe even 7 if you're counting variegated and A12. So I went through everything in the flossaways and in the Ziplocs, and I put it all into one set and completed it as best I could. Then I had a second set and then a third set, and they're much smaller because they're not as full. But now I think, and then everything else I put in flossaways organized by the number, and these are the ones that didn't fit, so they were in, these are the 3000, so I had them on these like that, but I had to figure out what the heck to do with those. Anyways, I think what I really just want is one set like this and then the rest in flossaways. So I don't know. That's it. I don't know. I'm really proud of myself. Did I show a photo of it in the middle of it all? I'll insert a photo if I didn't. Whew, it was something trying to do that, but I got through it, and I feel better. I feel lighter. Look at the colors. Isn't it just so pretty? So these are my boxes. Now I know what I have. I didn't know what I had. Now I know what I have, and I feel better about that. And phase 2, maybe, I don't know what phase 2 will be, but I do need to do a little something there. Anyways, okay, let me know if you are a color organizer or a number organizer. How, like, if you're a color organizer and you're kitting something up, you have to know what color it is in order to find it, right? But if it's a number, you just look at the number and you're like, oh, I need this number, this number, this number, and you like flip through and then you find it. So that's my reason why. So if you do not do it that way, give me a reason. Or if you do it that way and it's a different reason than mine, please let me know in the comments. We can have a little stitch chat about that. That is the end of the video, episode 18. Yes, 18. I hope. I don't know. I'm second guessing that now, but yes, I think it is episode 18. It says it on here, so does this board ever lie? It hasn't yet, but it might. I hope it doesn't, though. What am I saying? You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me. I always have so much fun, and feel free to send me an email. My email will be in the description, along with everything else that I've listed and shown to the best of my ability, because I don't know what Dale's piece was, but if you know what Dale's piece was, let me know. Yeah. Send me an email, show me what you're working on, follow me on Instagram, it's @StitchuationNormal, and let's chat more about stitch stuff because I'm obsessed, as we are, right? Keep stitching your story, and I will see you next time.